Introducing today's video. America's Wealthiest Families, 2026. A documentary series from the stables of WealthLore. Most people think the retirement number is the answer. It is not. Behind America's Wealthiest Families 2026 is a quieter financial tension. Two households can look equally comfortable on paper while living completely different retirements of many countries. And the most surprising part? Most of these fortunes weren't built yesterday. They've survived generations. While most families struggle to preserve wealth for their children, America's richest dynasties have managed to build empires that have lasted for decades, and in some cases, more than a century. According to Forbes' 2026 ranking, America's 54 richest families now control a combined fortune of approximately $9 trillion, nearly $600 billion more than when Forbes published its first ranking just 2 years earlier. That raises an uncomfortable question. Why do some families lose everything within 2 generations, while others continue becoming richer every decade? The answer has very little to do with luck, and almost everything to do with ownership. At the very top of the list sits a name nearly everyone recognizes: the Walton family. Their wealth began with one simple idea: offer everyday products at prices ordinary families could afford. When Sam Walton opened his first Walmart store in Arkansas, few imagined it would become the world's largest retailer. Today, Walmart serves hundreds of millions of customers every week across dozens of countries. As the company expanded, so did the family's ownership. Instead of selling their shares, the Waltons largely held on to them. That decision changed everything. Today, Forbes estimates the family's fortune at roughly $520 billion, making them America's richest family by an extraordinary margin. Notice something important. The Waltons didn't become wealthier because they earned enormous salaries. They became wealthier because they owned one of the world's most valuable businesses. Ownership beats income every single time. The second family on the list tells a completely different story. The Koch family built its fortune through industry: oil, chemicals, manufacturing, energy. Unlike consumer brands that millions recognize immediately, Koch's businesses often operate quietly behind the scenes. Yet their influence stretches across countless industries: pipelines, building materials, agriculture, consumer products, industrial manufacturing. It's another reminder that some of the biggest fortunes are created far away from the spotlight. Then comes one of the sweetest businesses on earth: the Mars family. Most people know Mars through products like M&Ms, Snickers, Twix, and Pedigree pet food. But few realize the company remains privately owned. That changes everything. Private ownership allows families to make long-term decisions without worrying about quarterly earnings reports or short-term investor pressure. Instead of focusing on the next quarter, they can focus on the next generation. That philosophy appears repeatedly throughout America's richest families. Many of these dynasties didn't simply build companies, they protected ownership. The Johnson family followed another path. Instead of candy or retail, they built one of the world's largest investment companies through Fidelity Investments. Every time families invest for retirement, every time someone buys a mutual fund, every time assets under management increase, the business grows stronger. And because the family retained significant ownership, their wealth continued compounding alongside their clients. The Cargill-Macmillan family demonstrates another powerful lesson. Most consumers have never purchased directly from Cargill, yet the company touches food production across the globe. Agriculture, grain, Trading, food ingredients, supply chains. Entire industries depend on businesses like Cargill, even if consumers rarely see the company's name. Sometimes the most valuable businesses are the ones ordinary people never notice. Another remarkable dynasty is the Pritzker family. Many travelers recognize the Hyatt Hotel brand. What they may not realize is that decades of ownership transformed a hotel company into one of America's largest family fortunes. Every hotel booking, every conference, every vacation, every business trip quietly contributes to one of the country's wealthiest dynasties. As different as these families appear, they share something remarkably similar. Very few became wealthy by collecting salaries. Almost all became wealthy by owning productive assets. Businesses, equity, factories, brands. Real estate, intellectual property. Assets that continue generating income long after the original founders are gone. That is the first major difference between income and wealth. Income stops when you stop working. Ownership continues working while you sleep. And that's exactly where the story becomes even more fascinating. Because building wealth is difficult, keeping it across 4, 5, or even 6 generations. Maybe even harder. History suggests that enormous wealth shouldn't survive for very long. Financial advisors often repeat a familiar saying: the first generation builds it, the second generation preserves it, the third generation spends it. While the exact percentages vary from study to study, the broader pattern is well known. Many family fortunes decline within a few generations because wealth is far more difficult to preserve than it is to create. So why haven't America's richest families disappeared? The answer begins with one word: structure. The world's wealthiest families don't simply pass down money, they pass down systems. Instead of handing heirs a bank account and hoping for the best, many establish trusts, holding companies, governance agreements, investment committees, and family offices designed to manage wealth across generations. Think of a family office as a private company whose only client is the family itself. Its job is to oversee investments, manage taxes, coordinate estate planning, evaluate new business opportunities, protect assets from unnecessary risk, and ensure the family's wealth continues growing for future generations. For families worth billions of dollars, preserving wealth becomes a full-time business. Another difference is diversification. Many founders became rich by concentrating on one business. Later generations often protect that fortune by expanding into many different assets: stocks, private companies, commercial real estate, infrastructure, technology. This matters economically because retirement wealth is not only a scoreboard. It determines how much risk a family can absorb, how long savings can survive inflation, and whether a sudden medical bill becomes an inconvenience or a crisis. The emotional difference is quiet but enormous: confidence for some, anxiety for others, and hope for anyone still early enough to change the outcome. Healthcare, private equity. Even if one investment struggles, the broader portfolio can continue growing. It's the same principle individual investors use, just on a much larger scale. Then there's governance. In many successful business families, ownership and management are treated as two separate responsibilities. Just because someone inherits shares doesn't automatically mean they should run the company. Professional executives are often hired to manage day-to-day operations while family members focus on long-term ownership. That decision removes emotion from many business choices. It allows experienced leaders to run the company while preserving family wealth. This is one of the least discussed secrets behind multi-generational fortunes. The wealthiest families understand that owning a great business and operating one require different skills. Perhaps the most valuable asset these families protect isn't cash. It's ownership. Imagine owning 10% of a business that becomes twice as valuable every decade. You don't need to work twice as hard. You don't need to double your salary. The value of your ownership grows alongside the company. That's exactly what happened with families like the Waltons. As Walmart expanded across the United States and eventually around the world, the family's ownership became exponentially more valuable. Their wealth wasn't created by withdrawing larger paychecks. It was created because they continued owning an appreciating asset. The same principle appears again and again throughout Forbes' list. The Mars family still benefits from a privately owned global food business. The Koch family continues to own major industrial operations. The Johnson family retains ownership connected to one of the world's largest investment firms. The Cargill-Macmillan family still benefits from one of the largest privately held companies in America. Different industries, different products, the same wealth formula. Build, own, protect. Allow time to compound the results. But there's another lesson hiding inside these family empires. Many people think the richest families spend every dollar they earn. In reality, wealthy families often think differently about money. Instead of asking, "What can this money buy?" they ask, "What can this money build?" Can it buy another business? Can it purchase productive real estate? Can it fund research? Can it create another source of recurring income? That shift in thinking changes everything. Money stops being the destination. It becomes the tool. The irony is that this lesson applies whether your net worth is $1,000 or $100 billion. The scale changes. The principle doesn't. Every dollar has two possible jobs. It can finance today's lifestyle, or it can help build tomorrow's wealth. The families on Forbes' list repeatedly chose the second option. Year after year, generation after generation. Perhaps that's why their fortunes continued growing while so many others faded away. So what does this mean for the rest of us? Very few people will build a company the size of Walmart. Most of us won't create a global investment firm or own an international hotel chain. But we can apply the same principles. Own productive assets. Invest consistently. Think long-term. Protect what you build. Teach financial literacy to the next generation instead of leaving only money behind. Because inheritance without education rarely lasts. Knowledge is often the most valuable asset a family can transfer. That may be the greatest lesson hidden inside America's richest families. Their wealth wasn't preserved by luck. It was preserved by systems, by discipline, by planning. By understanding that fortunes disappear when ownership is replaced by consumption. The names on Forbes' list may change over time. New companies will rise. New entrepreneurs will build extraordinary businesses. Some fortunes will grow, others will shrink. But the principles behind lasting wealth are unlikely to change. Ownership creates opportunity. Discipline protects opportunity. Time multiplies opportunity. Those three ideas have built some of America's greatest family fortunes, and they can strengthen yours as well. The next time you hear that a family is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, don't focus only on the average net worth of Americans in their 70s is not simply a number. It is the echo of choices repeated for decades. What was saved, what was protected, what was risked, and what was delayed. The lesson is not that everyone must reach the same figure. The lesson is that every financial decision is quietly voting for a future version of you. And when the paychecks stop, that future finally speaks. Money grows where discipline lives.